Dylan Bowman here with I Run Far, sitting in for Brian Powell.
And I'm Megan Hicks of I Run Far, and we're here at the San Francisco Running Company in Mill Valley, California. It's a couple days before the 2016 The North Face Endurance Challenge 50-mile championships. And we're with Kiwi Ruth Croft. We're also over-caffeinated. Good morning.
It's only 8 a.m. How's it possible? Right.
Well, welcome.
Thanks.
It's good to have you back in California. Now,
Yeah.
you're a Kiwi,
Yeah.
but you live in Taiwan,
Yeah, I do.
and you spent your summer in Europe,
Yeah.
and you went to school in Portland,
Yes,
right? So
that's
you're
correct.
quite international.
You've done your homework.
Yes. I did my research prior to sitting in today.
His journalism debut.
Cool. So you're back in the U.S.
Yeah,
This
I
is your first time back since the race last year? Or
Yeah,
no?
this is my first time back.
Cool. And you've been here for a little while, it looks like.
I got here last Saturday, and was in LA, and went to see some friends, Justin Howe,
Mm-hmm.
and saw Chris and Alicia, and saw them in Arizona. Yeah, and then came up 2 days ago.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're making a little trip out of it.
Yeah, I don't like to just fly out race,
Mhm.
because it takes me about 5 days to get over jet
Mhm.
lag and start feeling normal again. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I think that's smart. Well, you've had a great year this year. You finished third at Translocon earlier in the year, which is kind of the European equivalent to the North Face 50-miler.
Yeah.
And then obviously you finished second at Kima, a notoriously difficult and technical race.
Yeah.
You also won a 50K there in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about your season and kind of how it set you up for this race?
My season, to be honest, I got to Europe and I had actually planned to do some other races, but I did Sears and Al and it didn't really go well. My fitness wasn't really where I wanted to be. It had been really hot this summer in Taipei, and so I just found it had really affected my training. So I got over to Europe and did Sears and Al, and I'd talked about doing Kima before I went out to Europe, but we decided with John, who's my coach, that it wasn't a good idea because I hadn't run on anything that technical. I didn't have the chance to train, and it's also a little bit at altitude, so we said no, we wouldn't do it. So Sears and Al went bad, and then, well, not great, and then I did Matterhorn, the 30K the week later. And then I just decided I had the opportunity to do Kima, and it's such an awesome race. And only held once every 2 years, so I decided I'd just give it a go. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So do you feel like it set you up for a good race here? You feel
well, those races Kima and Glencoe,
different.
Totally different.
Wicked.
Like just you're on chains, you're scrambling, and so I think you're out there for 8 or 9 hours, but not exactly running 8 or 9 hours. But yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I hope it's set me up for this weekend. We'll find out. Yeah.
You're back. You were here last year.
Yeah.
You're the returning 4th place runner.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little bit of feedback on your experience here last year, and maybe what has drawn you back all the way across the ocean, across time zones, across international date lines to do this all again?
Well, one is the timing of the race.
Okay.
And it's a good one to finish the season on. Also, I just felt last year, I don't know, when you do a race for the first time, you kind of learn a lot about it and how you can do it better the next time. So I think it took a lot away from last year, and hope I can improve on it this year. Yeah.
So what is it that you think you can improve? Because when I saw you in the race last year, I think you were in second on the out and back, and you finished 4th. So you slipped a little bit in the second half of the race. What happened there, and how do you think you can improve?
I blew up it was at the last aid station. Pretty bad.
A lot of people blow up there.
Before the last climb?
Yeah, I went through the aid station, and then right after the aid station, I got passed by Ali and Marissa.
Just on the last climb?
Yeah. It's such a runnable course, and I'm not used to that as well, and I wasn't expecting it to be so like that. So I think you start off quite fast, and I need to be more conservative, because those hills just keep coming, and by the end, if you have gone out too fast, it just catches up on you, what happened last year.
Yeah, you took it out pretty hot. You were, within seconds of the lead for quite a distance of the race.
Yeah. But then, I think it just pays to be more conservative at the beginning, and then start to try and push it in the second half. Yeah.
So if we're seeing you 4th, 5th place early on. Is that where you're thinking maybe you want to be, or is it like I want to try to keep in visual contact, or how are you going to approach trying to start more conservatively at this race?
Yeah, just probably be back a bit further and just not be in a rush to be up and have contact with the lead ones.
Okay.
Because it is a long race, and yeah, it really pays to be more conservative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of long races, last year you did a couple 100-kilometer races. You had an awesome kind of ultra debut, I think, at Tarawera when you and Ruby Muir had quite a battle. She got the best of you that day, but then you had an astonishing run at CCC last year in 2015, where you won the race in a crazy fast time, and you beat Magdalena Belay, who's sort of a local legend here in the Bay Area, and I think you were the only person to actually get the better of her in the 2015 season. So maybe talk a little bit about sort of that year and how like your progress has been through ultra running.
So Tarawera was my first ultra, and so I think once I got that out of the way, just figured out like nutrition and all that thing. And then with Europe, I think I was just lucky. I planned it out really well. I had a good five-week block over there before CCC to like, just get used to training in the Alps and that. And so I think it was and on race day, just everything went really well. It was just one of those races where I felt really good from start to finish, and yeah, just that was it pretty much. Yeah.
Cool.
You live in Taipei, in Taiwan, which is a gigantic metropolis.
Yeah.
I think my question will ring familiar with a lot of people around the world who try to be trail runners, or who are trail runners but who live with not like the best access to trails.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your life in Taipei? What your sort of usual running schedule is like? Are you spending a fair bit of time on the roads, or do you get out to trails? What's it like?
So it's not like Hong Kong. Like Hong Kong, the trails are really accessible, like right at your door. Taipei is not quite like that. It's tough. I have a couple of training partners, and we train in the morning, and it's along the riverside, and we'll go up some some hills and that. But during the week, it's quite a lot of road. Yeah, and then in the weekend, I'll try and get on trails, but. There's one national park in Taipei, but even so, it's not trail. It's like cobbled, like steps as well.
But with like green things around you.
Yeah. Well, actually, Taipei is pretty green. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. But of course, it's not ideal for training. But you make the best of what you've got. And I think the hardest thing for a lot of runners coming from Asia is just the heat in summer, and which is what I've struggled with a lot this year. Is just you're constantly in humidity. Like even we had a 50k in Hong Kong, and it was just it was 90% humidity, and so you're just losing so much water. And I found like this year I'd get to work at like midday and I was just getting this massive headache because it's so hard it's so hard to replace all that sweat, and also your body the recovery just slows down so much. So yeah, I don't know, it's not the best, but I've got a lot of support from like Garmin and just like a lot of different training centres and that. So yeah, make it work.
Make it work.
Yeah.
Cool. So like I mentioned, you have a background running on the track and cross country. You went to
University of Portland.
University of Portland. So you have a lot of experience doing faster, shorter stuff. Yeah. You've proven that you're also great in the more technical mountain courses, and you obviously have skill on the faster, flatter courses. Yeah. Do you kind of have a preference between the two? This course here is sort of in between. I mean, it's relentlessly hilly, but super fast. Maybe talk a little bit about your opinion of those kinds of courses.
I definitely prefer like something like CCC, where there's like really runnable sections, but then there's also some really technical sections. Like, to be honest, I find the North Face for me it's quite fast, and don't really enjoy it when you don't have that breakup of like hiking and stuff like that. But then if you go to like Kima and that, it's the opposite, and for me it's like way too technical. I enjoy it, like it was awesome to do, but it's not. I didn't feel like I was comfortable, or I could really relax. Yeah.
Last question for you. You're a brand new Scott athlete.
Yeah.
What shoes are you wearing on Saturday?
I'm wearing the Super Track RC,
Awesome.
the one that you've probably seen.
Brand new.
Yeah.
And this is a shoe not a lot of people have seen yet. It's brand new, so can you describe it?
So I wore it in like Kima, and so it's awesome on like rock on all surfaces, like if it's slippery, if it's dry, and what else? I don't know, I'm terrible at explaining shoes.
Traction.
Right? Traction, really good traction.
That shoe's all about the traction, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's pretty lightweight as well, and so it's a good one.
Awesome.
Cool, well good luck.
Awesome, thanks.
Hopefully you have a better experience in the last 10K.
Yeah, hopefully.
And
the final climb treat you well.
Yeah,
So,
weather looks favorable too, so
yeah,
it should be a good one.
okay, thank you.
Good luck, Ruth.
Cheers.